Yes. It's a ball. A little ball, you drop it in the water, and all of a sudden they burst into
And Marlena, you can actually hop on. Okay. I need a thumbs up from Cindy, Susan, or Sarah. Ooh, this chair. This chair's a little tipsy. All right. I need a little thumbs up to make sure you guys can see the slides. If you can give me a thumbs up, show your pretty little faces. There is Sarah, Cindy, and Susan.
Susan who? Klein?
Yeah.
It's my friend.
Can you hear me?
Yay.
Can y'all?
That
Started
is,
here.
that might be Suzanne. This is you know who that is. She was there last
Sarah's
night.
Suzanne's mama.
Yeah, I don't know who Cindy is.
Cindy. Okay. And Melissa. Yep.
How do you do that thumbs up?
Yes, yes, yes. I want to make sure they can hear me and see my slides.
I'm sorry.
Yay. We'll get started here in just a second. I'm actually recording. So we've got a little bit of, okay, yay. All right, Marlena, let Marlena in the room. Okay, tell me if you can see it, hear it. All right. Perfect. You see it? It's good? All right. All right. All right. Perfect. Y'all gonna need a notepad. I'm the type of teacher that delivers a lot of information. I'm fine about pictures. That's fine. I'm recording this anyhow. Yeah.
Thank you. You're recording this, so we'll be able to get information.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Yeah, and I post most of my talks on YouTube channel. It's called Healthy Living Inspirations. Yeah.
And I just like.
And I have like, I don't know, 30 subscribers, something like, I have no idea. It's just for because everybody, this is a TikTok generation. And so my classes are usually at least an hour long. And it has to be a diligent person that wants to sit and listen to all that information. You know, if I had an editor, they could edit my information into 50 TikTok, whatever. But
because I like to listen and then I like to
exactly. And I have a lot of people that do that. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And we'll get started here. And Deborah Kay, did you want to do some intro or do you want to just go with the flow and get right on in with the go with the flow and get on with the show? All right, Cassie can introduce me. Yay! Cassie to the rescue.
For those that have had the pleasure of hearing Lavon before, you know you're in for a treat. And for those that have had the pleasure of talking with her out there, you probably have already figured out that she's a representative. And she is my go-to person for consults. Anytime that I'm meeting with somebody that has a particular issue, she makes herself readily available, spends all the time in the world that they want, absolutely free. And they tell me she was amazing. So you're in for a treat. She speaks around the world. She speaks to little groups and large groups, and we are blessed to be able to have. Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you, Deborah. Did you girls just enjoy the most delicious lunch? You know what? Deborah Kay's lunch isn't just lunch in a crunch in a box. It is made with love. And that is what is so special because you know what? Food made with love is easy to digest. Awesome. So I actually titled this Just Because You're a Woman. Now, is there any confusion about gender in the house? No, ma'am. Okay, plumbing is different, right? All right. That means hormones is different. A lot of seasons, a lot of things are different between the male and the female. So this talk is to the female. Just because you're a woman, and nutritional answers for the female. I've kind of targeted this talk a little bit toward the childbearing years, although there are some of us in the room that's past that, that are grandmothers, and I will give you some good tips along the way. But let's get rolling. Let's get started with some great information. I love to start with wisdom from the grave. I love Florence Nightingale's, because many people haven't even don't even know that some of our historical leaders and in many areas, they actually had a lot of words of wisdom, and through that amazing wisdom, nature alone cures. That's by Florence Nightingale. The founder of modern nursing said that you have to go to nature for cures. And then germs do not cause disease in the real sense. Now they're real, but in the real sense, they're not the cause. And so something happens in the body to allow the germs to become invasive, meaning it's terrain, it's environment, and so it's becoming a good host to these things. And guess who said that? Antoine Beecham, which was a world famous scientist. Go do your research on him. It's very, very interesting. And then the germ is nothing. The terrain is everything. And guess who said that? Louis Pasteur. But this wasn't in the height of his career that he said this. It would have cost him a few things. It was at the end of his career on his deathbed that he actually said this one. You know that what somebody says on their deathbed can be taken in a court of law as fact. Yeah, the CIA knows that. That's why when they go in and do any kind of deathbed confession, it is considered truth. It's considered fact. The doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will actually involve the patient in the proper use of food, fresh air, and exercise. And guess who said that? Mr. Thomas Edison. Wow. So we can see that, you know, this modern day hippie movement of herbs and teas and all of this stuff is not, you know, new. It's something that's come down through history from the Garden of Eden. So hormones run the show, ladies. Nobody would disagree with the fact that hormones run the show. You have about 500 of them running around in your body, and every cell in your body actually has a receptor saying, I need a hormone, I need another hormone, I need another and another and another and another hormone 500 times. In fact, the thyroid hormones, every cell in your body has thyroid hormones. And this is why a lot of women are getting thyroid issues. We'll dive into that and talk about it. But if you want to snap a picture of this, I'm just going to briefly go over it. But how many here know that adrenaline is what gets you up in the morning? It's what motivates you through the day. It's what gives you your happy juice. It's what helps you to have a defining life, purpose, because when your adrenals start burning out, then your whole body goes into burnout. And I've often been told by physicians that when the adrenals quit functioning, you will die. And do you know that you have two adrenals and they sit on top of your kidneys? So every person I talk to, I know that has kidney issues, I know they automatically have adrenal issues, because God put adrenals on top of kidneys for a reason. And so your adrenals are very, very important. And it increases blood pressure, heart rate, metabolism, and reaction to stress. So your adrenals are supposed to fluctuate up and down. The problem is when they go up and they never go down. That's the problem. And it's called chronic stress, hitting chronic drip, 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 dump, drip, 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 dump. And when that happens, then your body says, okay, all of the glandular system in the body is being overworked because everybody else has to work extra hard too. The heart has to work extra hard. Major organs and systems have to work extra hard when you have a constant adrenal drip. Now, how many here know that as a mother, after you have your babies, you don't quite get a good night's rest, right? Because you're actually not even going into that REM sleep, because there's something in your brain called the reticular activator that stays on high alert, which means your adrenals are dripping, waiting for that baby to cry, waiting for that baby to cry. And this is why women that bear children are so exhausted. And it's because their adrenals are never getting a rest, never having an opportunity to restore and to recover from that period of time. And if you have several children back to back, like Miss Wesley, if you know, Miss Wesley, that how many children she had? 18, something of that nature, anyhow. Like, okay, too many. But she did produce some amazing children that actually marked our history. Susanna Wesley was her name. Anyhow, so, but we just, my purpose is to help women to understand what is draining out of your body so that we can take knowledge of it and put it back into our body. It's not that children are the problem and buried children are the problem. The problem is we just lacked an understanding on how to restore our body from the depletion, from the draining that's going on. All right, so you can see your cortisol going on here, estrogen, and the different forms of I am admitting, yay, Melissa, welcome. And so you can see here that there's several hormones that actually kind of systematically, they all work. And I don't like to use the word balance. Everybody wants to hum and buzz around that word balance. I don't want to use the word balance. I'm going to use the word timing, because really, truly, I'm going to share this story with you right here. I had a lady in my house on Wednesday mornings. I was packing to drive up here, and she had just had a hysterectomy. In fact, she was driving for the first time after the hysterectomy to my house to get some Neolife products. And she had told me that she had started taking hormones about a year and a half ago. And I gave her some counsel and advice to do something different. And she chose, based upon her naturopathic doctor, to go that route. And then she ended up getting cancer. So she sat across from me in my sunroom, and she said, I looked at my doctor in the face that performed my surgery. And I said, I want you to tell me the truth. You're a Christian man, and I want you to tell me the truth. Do these hormones cause cancer? She said he hesitated, and he said, well, I will tell you this, that if we put a woman on these hormones after the age of 60, you have a higher percentage of getting cancer. He said, we try to put them on the hormones at the age of 50, because here's the key, timing. And not just timing, but the ability for them to play with it, to actually get it right, because they don't get it right. And it takes some time to get it right. And they don't have time at the age of 60 to play around with it from 60 to 70, because by the time you're 60, 65, you got cancer. Now, I hope that makes sense to you. But so it has to do with timing, and it has to do with practice. They are practicing the timing. Do you get the picture? They're practicing on you the timing. I hope you get that. All right.
Yeah.
So what do hormones have to do? They play a role in your cycle. They play a role in your bone structure. They play a role in sleep, mood swings, glandular function, metabolism, dryness, being hydrated, drying, as your skin starts drying out and certain other body parts start drying out, your eyes even start drying out, though some of those things. Depression, anxiety can set in during this time. And again, it's because your body is in sync and knows what to do. But if you create an environment for it to be difficult to know what to do, and you create an environment where the timing is off, you're going to be in trouble. So you can see here, some of the modern things that we're finding is infertility. In fact, this is a major issue here in America. I just read a report the other day that sperm count is down by 70, 80%. Now, if the young men are shooting blanks, then where's the next generation? Hello, that's just common sense there. So anemia, I get a lot of phone calls of women who are anemic, and a lot of them that are the older women that are having troubles. And when I do a consult, they'll tell me, well, they've been anemic their whole life. All right. So there's just been, again, an environment in the body that the timing is off. PCOS is a plague. It is literally a plague for these young women. Polycystic ovarian syndrome. And again, we're going to talk about some of the causes of these things, cysts, fibroids, and the other issues. So as we move right along, we know we have challenges. We know we're facing challenges that grandma didn't face, and great grandma did not face these challenges. So hormonal disrupting chemicals. So here's the number one culprit right here. As we talk about in the last 50 years, about 30 years, they've introduced to us a nice little dance of about 80,000 chemicals. And from those 80,000 chemicals, oh my goodness, many of them specifically disrupt your hormones. So, and plastics are found in plastics, they're found in makeup. The class I did last night went over this. They're found in all kinds of body care, personal care products, plastics, dryer sheets. I mean, they have really made sure that these special little ingredients, chemicals, are going to be found in everything from flame retardant material that you're buying for a blanket that you're sleeping on every night, or the furniture that you're sitting on. Oh my goodness. So these are health concerns. And now we're, down the road, and all of a sudden you have PCOS and you've got all these challenges. And there is no doubt it's standing up in the court of law. There's no longer a debate about this, by the way. The Environmental Protection Agency does admit these are problems, and these are the problems that it's causing, especially in the next generation and the next generation. Did you know that an toxic body, your body has a way of trying to deal with it? And toxic overloads, and it mostly wants to store in fat cells. So this is a lot of reason why you just cannot drop that 20 pounds no matter how hard you try, because you've got toxins that are stored in those fat cells, and the fat cells said, I'm holding on to this because I'm protecting your heart. I'm holding on to this because I'm protecting your brain. I'm holding on to this because I'm going to protect your liver. Oh my goodness. So, hormones are chemical messengers. And so hormones have a message to deliver to your body, and it's all about timing. It's all about timing. In real estate, it's about location, but in everything in life, it's about timing, isn't it? And if you're 5 minutes late for getting on a plane, are you getting on that plane? No, that's happened to me. Once that door is sealed, I'm sorry, but God himself would not be able to open that door, is what I've been told. So, but they're chemical messengers that carry out strategic work duties 24/7. When you're sleeping, they're working. When you're awake, they're at work to keep you happy, to keep you healthy. And it all is all about timing. So what do you do about the toxic overload and the impact of it? Because as we learned last night, even the child's umbilical cord is being found with several hundred toxins. If you ever want to see a little short, I think it's a 10-minute, maybe a little more documentary called 10 Americans. And it's it's get your Kleenex box near you because it's a tearjerker.
Are you recording?
Yes. And so toxic overload impact. Average woman uses 18 body care products. And we talked about this, 400 chemicals, feminine care. Did you know a tampon has glyphosate in it? Ladies, I'm telling you, what are we putting this inside our most intimate tissue and lining of our bodies is soaking up these chemicals that are causing infertility. And it's very sad. There are over 50 hormones in the body that interact with every cell from every organ in your brain. Testosterone builds muscle, bones, and motivates. So in other words, you do, ladies, need testosterone as part of what gives you your little bit of motivation. So it's not just the male that needs testosterone. And it is. Again, it's about that timing and when testosterone shows up and how much shows up and the timing of when it shows up. We live in a toxic world and there are over 80,000 chemicals. We talked about that. So, and nobody's testing these chemicals, especially the combination, because I guarantee you, if you're getting one, you're getting a dozen. And nobody's tested the complications of all dozen of them coming together inside your body and then locking together inside your cells. So here's a picture of a hormone imposters or improvements. So in other words, these are called xeno. Xeno means synthetic or fake hormones. And xenoestrogens is the number one antagonizer that's causing the PCOS and a lot of the hormone remediated type cancers and things like that. So you have, again, cell receptors on every single cell that has to receive this chemical amazing messenger of a specific hormone at the right time. And so if you have an imposter come in that's called a xenoestrogen and it looks like an estrogen, it kind of sort of acts like an estrogen, then the receptor opens up and says, I think, maybe it is, and it receives it. But once it gets invited into the cell, then it says, aha, I am not your friend. I am your foe, and I'm here to steal, kill, and destroy. Oh my goodness. But by that time, again, in this generation we're looking at, our children are being born with these xenoestrogens. And I've been hearing a lot of issues with little boys and their testes, that a lot of deformities that are happening, young men that are, again, testicle cancer. This is happening. This is happening. Clean up your environment. So we got to clean up our environment. And ladies, we have to do more than just change out our lipstick. We got to change out our laundry. We got to change our lotion. We got to change out our shampoo. We got to change out our body care, our face, skin care. We got to change out our cleaning products, because Dawn detergent, any of these laundry detergents and cleaning products are hormone disruptors. Oh my goodness. So we have to make sure, I tell people to crack your window, get some fresh air in your home. If you are able to, get a HEPA filter to filter into your home. When you get in your vehicle, never recirculate the air within your vehicle. Always come from the outside in, because the benzene levels inside your vehicle are very, very strong, very high. Why? Because you've got the flame retardant materials inside of your vehicle. You've got plastics, you've got dyes, you've got all this stuff, and you don't want to be breathing all of that. Water quality, there's a lot that's going on with our water. I will share this with you. How many here saw my interview I did of a lady I met the other day that's from Detroit, Michigan? Well, she shared with me a story, and I'm waiting on getting my tire repaired, and I meet her, and she's a teacher from Detroit. And I asked her a question, and that question turned into, and I said, can I videotape your testimony? She said, by all means, yes. And so she shared with me her testimony, and she's from Detroit, and she knew exactly what happened in Flint, Michigan with the water. And she had tears in her eyes, and she said, those children are suffering terribly with everything you can name because of the toxins that were in the water, not just lead, but all kinds of chemicals that were put in that water. And she said the research now has shown, because this was back in 2014 that this happened. And she said they're now showing that those children that have grown up and had children, that those same chemicals are in their children, and that this will go to the 4th generation, these chemicals. And it wasn't just lead, but she stood there with tears in her eyes. She said, I had college-bound students with full scholarships reduced down to nothing because of drinking this water. I'm telling you. Anyhow, go on my Facebook and listen to it. It's a tearjerker. So how important is it for a detox? It's not an option for us in today's world. If you want to survive, if you want to thrive, if you want to push forward, move forward, and help educate your children and your grandchildren and continue a progeny, we've got to teach one another how to properly detox. And of course, our mind. And what you're doing here today, I congratulate you. You are getting educated on and being equipped about what you can do for you, because face it, we are females, right? So we set the standard in the home. We set the environment in the home. We set the course direction in our home for our future generations. And of course, our body is the best piece of real estate you'll ever own. And so we need to treat it as a multi-billion-dollar piece of real estate, and our spirit and our home. And this is all part of, God helping us to not be defeated and not become a victim to the enemy that comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but embrace your natural rhythm cycles. It's about timing, rise and fall. Balancing is an act. Remember, when they practice, when you go to the medical, they're practicing a balancing act. But God, in his creation, creates the body in perfect timing. So it's about timing with our creator. But if you go to a practice, they're practicing balance. And it's a balancing act. So if you go through all the cycles in your life and go to the other end where the cycles wind up, you will have experienced 451 cycles over 38-year lifespan. Now, every time you have a cycle, do you realize that you're losing iron and you're losing minerals? And so if you don't know to replenish in your food the iron, to build more iron and to put more minerals back in your body, you're in trouble. By the time you have one child, it doesn't matter, because you're dumping. That child is going to get its efficiency of iron. It's going to get its sufficiency of vitamins and nutrition, and mama's the one that's going to be left depleted. So it's real important. There are 4 phases and different levels, especially estrogen and progesterone. So again, it's about timing of when progesterone shows up, how much shows up, how much estrogen, timing of estrogen, and how much estrogen shows up as to your cycles. So take a look at your first. Let's take a walk and step through a cycle. Now, for those of you who have forgotten this is a past life for you. This may cause PTSD for you. I don't know. But first is you start your menstrual cycle. And this is where your hormones are at the lowest. And this is why you have symptoms, because your hormones are always at the lowest when you're releasing. Part of the reason is because your body's saying, oh, we can't, there's no conception here. So we're going to just go through this cycle because conception didn't happen and we're flushing it out. So 80% experience symptoms in pain, body, inflammation, and often, it's the timing. It's the timing. So then you come through the cycle, and then the second one is a follicular phase, which is hormones begin to rise back up again. All right, okay, I will survive. Okay, I will make it. Yes. And then energy will begin to increase and your metabolism begins to slow down rather than speed up. So again, this is all a dance. This is all a dance of timing. And your brain begins to focus a little clearer. You know, I get this a lot. I have brain fog, you know, when around my cycles and they come on and I'm just like, and then the third phase is ovulatory. So you get through that, and then all of a sudden your body says, there might be a conception happening here. So we need to prepare the body for that. And so it goes into preparation. And as it goes into preparation, then estrogen levels rise. And then your libido rises with it. Why? Because God knew what he was doing. Okay, this is a prime time. Why? Because it's about timing, right? It's all about timing. And it says you're highly motivated. This is where if you're married, you say, all right, honey, I'm ready. And before that, it's like, no, not now. So it is high energy. And this is where you can actually tackle projects. Oh, what are you doing, honey? I'm cleaning out the refrigerator. What are you doing? I'm cleaning out the closet. Oh, what are you doing, honey? Oh, I'm getting on that project there that I've been putting in the garage, whatever. This is where the estrogen levels are high. You're feeling peak. You're feeling focused. You're feeling great. And then the fourth part of that cycle is luteal phase, which is where your progesterone begins to come in, calming down the estrogen and then calming you down. And you kind of get into a little bit of a hibernating mode. You just want to kind of stay home today and you want to just curl up with a blanket and a cup of tea and read a book. And it's okay. And so this is where it's really good to understand your cycles, because when you understand your cycles, you won't think you're going crazy. It's all about just understanding how God created the human body, and it's okay to hibernate today. It's okay because you understand what your body's going through. You understand where your estrogen levels are, where your progesterone levels are, and all of the other. And so cycles smoothly by staying in timing. So they run smoothly. It's all about timing. Wow. Did that make any sense, ladies? Yay.
Yes.
What are your hormones telling you? Well, I would say keep a cycle journal. Keep a cycle journal that will tell you what because you have actually annual cycles that you go through every year. And you wonder, why am I feeling forlorn? Why am I feeling this way? Or, sometimes detached from the family. And you might feel that way for a week or 2 weeks or whatever. And if you're not in tune with what's happening, then you might feel like it's, this is depression or this is that. And you might go into anxiety and go into hyper, instead of saying, okay, I'm feeling this way. What happened to me a year ago? Maybe you had something that happened a year ago that dumped a lot of cortisol in your body, and it's having muscle memory and it's coming back and it just wants to release. See? Or how about lunar cycles? Oh my goodness, if you work in the ER, they'll tell you full moon tonight, all hands on deck. Why? Because hormones go different directions in full moon. As a matter of fact, I did the class on parasite cleansing, and the best time to cleanse and take a parasite cleanse is on a full moon. So girls, on a full moon, take your ivermectin. Yes, exactly. Monthly cycles. So it's understanding the 4 phases that I just shared of your monthly cycles. And then dragging in the are you dragging in the afternoon hours after 3 o'clock? And figure out what will support you during that cycle. Identify the cycle and then figure out what will support you. Is it a friend that you can call to pray with you? Is it a specific devotional book that you can go to give you some maybe extra encouraging scriptures at that time? Is it to where, I need to lay off the sugar, I need to lay off the things because that affects my hormones during this time, and I need to just clear and do maybe a detox during this time to clear my mind, clear my thoughts, you figure that out because every individual is different. And then what matters or what makes you stronger, figure out what's making you stronger. And the problem is God gave every person a measure of intuition. Females have an extra amount of intuition because that's how we're wired. And so we are designed to look inward and find out what's going on and how we're reacting to what's happening outwardly and how it's affecting us. And so we figure out what is going to support me during this moment. Now, have you ever just woke up one day and said, I'm really feeling down today? Am I the only one that's ever done that? Or I just go out throughout the day and I go, something's just not right. And I usually, the best thing to do is sit down and just say, Holy Spirit, show me what's going on inside my spirit right now. And it's interesting because God answers. And he'll tell you. And he'll tell you, he might give you a memory of something that happened 2 weeks ago that you just kind of breezed by, but now all of a sudden that emotion was trapped inside your body and now it's wanting to come out. And now he wants you to lay it out at his feet and deal with it, sister. Not clam it up, slam it up, jam it up, but to deal with it. And there's no better place to deal with it than at the feet of Jesus. There's no better place. And he might tell you, all right, today I just want you to eat fresh fruits and vegetables, or today I just want you to drink lemon water all day today and just kind of purge your body and get some clearer thinking and just dwell on a few scriptures throughout the day. Whatever the Lord leads you to do. So what makes you stronger? What makes you passionate? What makes you energetic? What makes you extra loving? What makes you feel connected? What makes you feel calm? What makes you feel focused? We live in such a fast-paced life. We never stop and ask ourselves these questions or even identify our cycles and what's going on. We're not in tune with it because our culture teaches us to deny it. We need to change that because you are a woman, beautifully, wonderfully made with extra special intuition. And we have not been taught to fine tune that gift. It is a gift that God gave us. So, exactly. Physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Honor your body. God's creation miraculously designed it to procreate. I heard a definition the other day of the word good, in Genesis. This is good. And then when he created Adam and Eve, he said, this is very good. And so the word good there actually means the ability to perpetuate good. So in other words, he created Adam and Eve with the ability to multiply good. And so that is why he said that he uses procreation to create sons and daughters that would honor God and serve him. And he says, so that word good means I created you with the capacity, with the ability to perpetuate God's goodness without me having to come down there and smack you every 2 hours. And that's what that means. So in other words, you have the power within yourself to perpetuate goodness. And doesn't the words of God say that good will overcome what? All right.
Evil.
So are we perpetuating, multiplying that good? Wow. So hormone levels go way up during pregnancy. How many here felt great while they were pregnant? Man, I felt like I was on top of the world. Give me my mountain. I mean, I was like running, 9 months pregnant. But let me tell you what happened after I gave birth. Oh my Lord. I didn't know which way was up. I was exhausted. I was tired. I was anemic. I was just, oh my goodness. So after you deliver your baby, everything drops drastically. I wish I had somebody to sit down and share with me. You're not going crazy, honey. This is normal. And you just need to pay attention to your nutrition. Well, guess what? That was before .com, Google. And so I had to go to a thing called library. And I had to go to the library, and I actually would put my little baby in the stroller, and I would stroll down to the library, and I would pull the books on nutrition. One of the first books that I pulled out was Adele Davis's "Let's Have Some Healthy Children, Honey." And I started reading, and then another book I pulled out was Mendelssohn's book on the Confessions of a Medical Heretic. Oh, I devoured that book, and it was one book after the next, and I began to get educated. That was my training ground. What do they say? Is necessity is the mother of invention, right? And I was just creating my own world of health because I was going to the doctor and telling her I'm depressed and I'm constipated and I'm this and this, and she just looked at me like, well, eat more prunes. And I go suck an egg. And I said, that was the last time I come to you for ask for advice. So I said, so that was my education that I started back in the when I was 20 years old. And so you've got lack of sleep after you give a baby. And again, we talked about minerals. Well, another thing you're depleted in is omegas. You're very depleted because let me tell you, that is what creation designed to make up your baby's brain. And if you aren't smart enough to give your body enough omegas, that baby will get it from you. Your brain will be depleted. And then your hormones are going to be all out of whack because they're all out of timing, because it requires omegas. Omegas have to be there for the timing to be right on hormones. Well, replenishing and refreshing is necessary. Now, how many here, when they gave birth to their babies, had a nice big garden, did all their canning, baked their own bread, and had lots of nutrition and lots of rest and had support from the family? Nobody here. Me neither. I was like on my own, honey. All right. So I got you. I feel you. Nothing can stop a hormone happy woman. Oh my goodness. Yes. A hormone happy woman rises up in the morning. She's a Proverbs 31 woman, isn't she? Oh my goodness. She makes sure that her household is supplied. She makes sure that she's making things for, blankets and things that she sells in the market. She goes to the marketplace and she provides things for her household. And she's a woman of wisdom. Women come to her for counsel. They come to her for wise counsel. So the impact, the rhythms, synchrony, timing is everything. It's a dance. Your hormones, you need them to work personally for you. I don't know about you, but I need my hormones to work for me. Clear communication, and you need to pay attention to your emotional cycles. We talked about that because your emotional cycles, and here I want to share this, really important, because we tend to ignore them to begin with, and then we tend to shut them down before they arc, before that emotional cycle arcs. It's real important for the body to release that trapped emotion and let it arc. So if you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream, scream. If you need to write it in your journal, if you need a day of prayer, pray. If you need somebody to come over, hold your hand and pray with you for a period of time, do it. Don't feel terrible about needing that. Let your emotions arc, because this is a problem. This is all they're showing this, that when a woman doesn't allow them to arc and all they do is stifle it and shut it down and stifle it and shut it down, it just builds up into a combustion and then it blows up. All right. Okay, then you become postal. Okay. So you want to, it's a natural cycle in the body, in your emotions. And God's saying, there's something I want you to deal with here. And there's something going on. I'm going to guide you. I'm going to show you. Let it arc, baby. Let it arc. Okay. Go to your husband and tell him, okay, honey, I just need to arc. In the meantime, you need to find an arc.
You need to
And you need to park. Yeah. Pay attention to your cycles. So as you can see, how many your endocrine system is depending on hormones to function. Did you know your liver is a gland? I talked to some nurses and they didn't even know your liver was a gland. I go, oh, gracious mercy, we're in trouble here. Thymus, actually the thymus controls a lot of your immune system, your brain, oh my goodness, adrenals, kidneys, stomach, liver, thymus, pancreas, thyroid, parathyroid. All of these things are glandular systems that thrive on the perfect timing of your hormones. All right, that's why you go to an endocrinologist for your hormones. Okay, nutritional answers. Your endocrine glandular system talks to your whole body. You must support it. Let's talk about your thyroid and parathyroid. We're having an all-time high of problems and issues with thyroid. And one of the major issues is talking about those toxins, but it's also suppressed emotions. Stress that comes in that you're not processing properly. And so again, your thyroid takes a hit. One of the nutrients that the thyroid needs is iodine. Iodine. It needs selenium. It needs minerals. It also needs adrenal support. Well, they're going to talk about that. So let's take a look here. Hormones run the show. Oxytocin, parathyroid hormones, progesterone, prolactin. There's hormones that come in that causes your milk to come in after you give birth. Somebody sent me a crazy video the other day of a lady who's running a cafe on her breast milk. You saw that? She got jugs on her back and she just comes up to the cafe and pours her milk. Yes. She makes milkshakes out of it. She pours it in your coffee.
Oh my God.
There was a guy that sat down and he was drinking it and he was reading what it was and he spit it up all over the table. But there actually is a viable business right now and a demand for women who are lactating and who produce. It's the perfect balance. It's the perfect balance and ratio of omegas and minerals. It's what, did you know that breast milk is 100% cholesterol? 100%. 100% cholesterol. Oh my goodness. So, testosterone and thyroid hormones. Okay, so thyroid maximizes your minerals. You got to maximize your minerals for your thyroid. Here's some foods that I would suggest you to incorporate into your daily program, especially Brazil nuts. 3 little Brazil nuts every day will give you a sufficient amount of selenium. Pumpkin seeds. Marlena had a bag of pumpkin seeds. They were delicious. She got from Sam's. And pumpkin seeds will supply zinc and cod liver oil. Cod liver oil is quite amazing because it's vitamin A. Is vitamin A. Are you aware that vitamin A is what cured the measles, mumps, and the childhood diseases with vitamin A, which was cod liver oil? Why do you think grandma said, I'm getting my kids some cod liver oil? What is that? That's a lipid that the body needs. And so sesame or tahini, grass-fed beef, we're not getting enough protein. You have to have protein to make iron. And plenty of dark greens, seaweeds or scallops. Because why in seafood? Because seafood's loaded with minerals. Seafood's loaded with iodine. Seafood's loaded with these things if you don't have an allergy to them. Bone broth, fermented foods, green smoothies, cruciferous vegetables, fiber, and turmeric. All of these things are really great for supporting the body, supporting the thyroid, and supporting your hormones system. Get up, move, exercise. Sometimes when you're feeling a little bit low, you're recognizing, just go for a walk. Take your shoes off if it's not a frozen ground and enjoy nature and ground yourself. Ground yourself. Touch a tree, look up. When you look up, there is something that happens in your releasing of your hormones. You will actually release happy, what I call happy dolphins that love to play in the water. You ever been down in Miami or been down to Naples and you go on those cruises and you got the little dolphins playing alongside the boats. That's what I call my happy hormones are happy dolphins. Keep them happy. They're endorphins and they're norepinephrines or serotonins or dopamines, all those wonderful things. Get up and moving because you're going to increase the good hormones that are going to help you feel good. And you're going to ground yourself because let me tell you, the damage that synthetic lighting and that all of this blue screen activity is doing to us is destroying your hormones. And it's not destroying the balance, it's destroying the timing. And we'll get into that in just a moment. So the first thing I'm going to suggest is detox. Start with a great 3-day detox. This is fantastic. You'll drop a few of those pounds because your body will say, I don't need these extra chemicals stored up in these fat cells anymore. This is why every person that does our detox will drop at least 3 to 7 pounds. I've even got reports of 10 pounds gone in 3 days. Amazing, because the Beta-Guard in the detox is a chelator to heavy metals, and it's going to go in like a heat-seeking missile. And there's different things that will create detox in the body. As a matter of fact, our flavonoid is reported to actually be a wonderful heavy metal detox. Our flavonoids, oh my goodness, wow. And but you don't just need one, you need all 4,000. And the only place I know to get all 4,000 is through Neolife. The acidophilus helps support your gut, helps support, and the garlic is going to go in and actually kill some of the parasites that set up operation in your gut. And the Neolax is going to actually pump your lymphatic system and help with the exit plan of the toxins. So this is a great way to start. Even when I did my parasite program or class, I said, start with this. Start with this, and then you can move on to do one of the parasite cleanse. Because when you start attacking the big guys, the big guns, you might have a lot of die-off and a lot of fallout and a lot of, as it's called, the Hexmeyer side effects, so to speak. But if you start with a 3-day detox and you kind of get rid of the first layer, then when you go after them with the black walnut and the clove and the wormwood, then they're unsuspecting and you're going to get it with less aftermath. So next is healthy wins. Maximize your nutrition, your minerals, antioxidants, and phytonutrients, and your oils. So start making better choices when it comes to your daily habits. Every choice that Deborah has so graciously prepared for us on her buffet is a great choice. Yes. A great choice for protein, a great choice for fruits, a great choice for the dark colored fruits and vegetables, the greens, the other vegetables, a great choice even for homemade breads and things like that. It was a fantastic choice. So basic hormone recipe. Your body will react a certain way if you give it synthetic hormones. Your body will react a certain way if you give it what is called bioidentical hormones. But your body will love, and it won't have to sort through a whole lot of gunk and amok. It will know what to do when you give it these 3 items, because that's the recipe that God created your body to make its own hormones. Protein is paramount. Grain oils is next, and minerals is third. That's the top three on the list for making hormones that the body desperately needs. Additional problems need additional nutrients. So know this, that if you already have been diagnosed with PCOS, if you've already been diagnosed with thyroid issues, you're going to need a little more help than a Pro Vitality pack. And by the way, our core nutritionals include all three of these amazing nutrients. Maximize your protein. So ladies, we don't get enough protein. This is coming in over and over and over and over again. We're not getting enough protein. The body thrives on protein. Protein is what restores, recovers. It's what makes those happy dolphins run and flourish in the brain. It's what gives you your cognitive focus and comprehension. It's what, your body needs to make digestive enzymes to digest that dairy product or this or that. It's what your body needs to actually build and boost its immune system. It's what your body needs to make collagen. Need I go on? Proteins.
How do you figure out how much protein?
That is a great question, and I'll address it later. But a daily serving would be around 18 grams, but you need several of those throughout the day. So I love our Neolife protein because it's a great option. It's a great way to meet that body's daily need for protein. It's quick, it's efficient, it's convenient, it's fabulous. And Deborah K, I think, is going to get up and make us one. It's biologically complete with all 22. That means it's not going to be missing anything. It's going to be fully supplied to make everything that you have need of in terms of your collagen, everything that I just listed. It needs all 22 amino acids to produce. It has one of the highest quality scores. It's called the PDCAAS score 1.73, which means it actually is pre-digested, further than pre-digested, beyond pre-digestion. And it's going to deliver all 18 grams of protein directly into the bloodstream. And we don't use synthetic amino acids. A lot of the other companies use synthetic amino acids. We do not use synthetic amino acids. So the body can utilize it. It's biologically complete in a form that your body can utilize. So it has your branch chain amino acids in it, and it has also 25 essential vitamins and minerals. So it's actually a complete meal. So you can actually take it in as a complete meal, and nothing artificial. It will not spike your blood sugar. It gives you balance. It satisfies your body's need. It reduces your craving because during that cycle, do you notice that just before your cycle, you get extra cravings for sugar and carbs? And that's because your hormones are fluctuating at that point. And that is because it's triggering those. So if you supply your body with this protein instead, your body will say, thank you so much. We're satisfied. We don't need to pester you and bug you. The bugs don't bug you for more sugar. Yes.
The way in there, can you help me understand where is that way produced in the Neolife product? Because typically I'm not been able to weigh protein very well, or I bulk up a lot. And so I've been on the Neolife for a while. I've not seen that same reaction, but it's kind of ingrained in my brain. That's a little bit back and more nervous. And so anyway, I just have a question.
Okay, your question is where we get our whey from?
Yes.
Okay, I have been told that we actually contract with the grass-fed beef in New Zealand.
I just don't understand exactly what whey protein is. Like
It's from beef.
Beef?
Yes, it's from beef. Yeah, it's from beef. Cows.
Yeah.
But ours are grass-fed cows. Most of the other companies, their whey comes from rendering plants. Like down here in Auburn, Georgia, that's got a huge protein rendering plant that they bring in all the carcasses and they steam them and they just process, grind them up. I'm good. Oh, that sounds good. And then they add synthetic amino acids to it. Yeah. And so it's not pre-digested, it's not biologically complete, it's from a inferior source. And this is one of the reasons why bodybuilders that drink 2 or 3 of them are needing brand new kidneys, are standing in a line for new kidneys. Go ahead. That's fine. But the deer meat is very, very lean and you need some fat. So get your fat through other sources, the omegas, get your fat through. Yeah, exactly. And avocados, coconut oil, butter, butter. You like butter? Oh my goodness. And take lots and loads of vitamin A and omegas, and that's good. That's good. And you can see what's in our Pro Vitality Pack here, which actually supplies the core nutrition. And that core nutrition is very, very necessary. I love how they formulated this. I said, okay, this company is smart. They know exactly how to lay a good foundation to build a house of health on. And you've got your protein with the protein shake. You got your grain oils with this one right here, the grain oils. And then you've got your omega, and then you've got your carotenoids, which is an oil pigmentation from your dark colored fruits and vegetables. And then you have your 4th one, which is 22 vitamins and minerals, all from a trusted source of whole food nutrition. Amazing. So in other words, you would have to consume several pounds of grains to get the oil measure or value that is in 1 tray and N. You would have to consume 80 pounds of dark colored fruits and vegetables to get the value that is sitting in 1 capsule taken over 30-day period of time. And then you would have to consume about 3-4 ounces of salmon a week to get the value in 1 salmon oil. Yes. So you can see it's concentrated, therapeutically concentrated whole food nutrition that's based upon nature, based in nature, and yet backed by science. And you can see 35 pounds of grains, 80 pounds, and 10 servings. So, and you might think, oh my goodness, I think we talked about the other night that if you were to go out and buy 80 pounds of dark colored fruits and vegetables, it would cost you about $400. Yes. So, and so, so glandular activity, you need to support the glandular activity. And guess what? This is supporting glandular activity. It is supporting your glands. You got to support all those beautiful, wonderful glands that thrive on your hormones. It is measured by the liver glycogen levels, was almost twice as high in the tray and N. Okay, so this is the result of taking that tray and N, the grain oils.
That's what I was talking about. It's the trainings.
Yes.
I've been taking the Pro Vitality for extra.
Yes. Yeah. And the study showed that the actual rats increased 50% in their growth and muscle and growth, actually, when they took the tray and N, and that the nutritional levels were increased at the cellular activity by 50%. Adrenals were boosted 174%. And female hormones increased 234%. This is all documented by Texas A&M University clinical studies that were done on our formula. Quite amazing. Some people can maintain. I pretty much at this point, I've gone through menopause. When I first started Neolife, it was 2013. I was 50, early 50s. And let me tell you, I was having hot flashes. I was thinking, I'm on the edge. I'm on the edge. I'm not arcing. I'm going to burst. I'm going to blow. And I'm like, you could feel it coming over you. Oh, and so when I got on this program, it was like, okay, my timing began to come back into sync. And all of a sudden, all them hot flashes, and they weren't just even hot flashes. It was just like somebody pulled the plug and drained everything out of me, how I would feel. And so, and I would get anxietal because I would be like, oh, I'm not going to make it. Oh my goodness, you know? And so when I started putting these nutrients back into my body, all of a sudden the timing started coming back into sync and much more manageable, much more manageable. And I don't have hot flashes at all. They're gone. So you can see here the increase in hormone activity, the increase here in adrenals. And anytime you can support and help your adrenals, you're going to support and help your kidneys. Can you tell me why there's a kidney dialysis center on every corner in every city now? That's because every medication they give you, the side effect is this will destroy your kidneys. Wow, wow. So this is the actual pictures of the study that was done with the animals, showing a 50% improvement in nutrient utilization when grain oils were added in the diet. This is the actual study that was done without Tran, with Tran. Quite amazing. And we're the only company in the world that has this formula. No one's ever even come close to it. Quite amazing. And it does, oh my goodness, it does so much. It's got to be the foundation. This right here is a foundation.
Do we have any human trials with that?
Yes. They were done with I think the Seattle Hawks. They were done with sports teams. Yes. So they're older, but yes, they were done. Yes. So minerals, and I love our multi-min. Oh my goodness, I love our multi-min. If you want a natural diuretic, you want to drain off that excess bloating, that excess puffiness at that time of the cycle, honey child, you take some multi-min. Our multi-min has 84 trace micro and macro minerals in it. It's from sea vegetation, and it's got the perfect ratios. And I just know when we add this, again, as part of the recipe, the protein, the Tran is your glandular support, your grain oils, and then when you add the minerals, it's like that sweet harmony. And your body begins to come back into balance or great timing. Menopause make it without meds. Research shows that 15 years after menopause, 50% will actually get cancer. 25 years after menopause, 100% of women will get breast cancer. How many here want to avoid that statistic? All right. Well, this is the way to do it, is to actually support your body so it does, the terrain doesn't invite, you don't become a good host for this. Really, menopause means mineral pause. So as a matter of fact, when your hormones go on pause, your adrenals are supposed to kick in to supply the minerals, the activity to get you through that cycle. When you're depleted in your grain oils and you're depleted in minerals and you're depleted in the other oils, the omegas, then your adrenals can't function and they leave you stranded on the side of the road with no support and no help, with some flat tires. And so the Chinese actually call menopause a second spring and a rebirth. What do they know that we need to know? We need to know what they know. And they know they use all kinds of beautiful herbs. And what is their mainstay is fish and seafood and soy. Oh my goodness, I said that evil word, soy. But that is their diet. So their culture calls menopause a brand new rebirth of a spring. What do we call it here in America? The death. Oh my goodness. Forgive her. It's an excuse to kill your husband. Really? Okay, menopause. I'm sorry. That just won't hold up in a court of law. All right. So it's now become the longest season of the females because you will now be in menopause longer than you were in your cycles, your 38 years, because we are living longer. So we need to know how to continue to take care of ourselves in the other cycle of life, the final cycle of life, and call it what it is, ladies. I'm in rebirth. I'm in the brand new spring. The pituitary sends a message to make the ovaries deliver an egg, but when the ovaries have quit delivering eggs, then they all get the message. Remember, it's about timing to say, oh, okay. So your multiplication time is coming to an end. So now we're going to go into a brand new rebirth and a brand new spring. That's if you supplied your body with enough protein, grain oils, and minerals, and other omegas. So minerals are the backup support for the transition. Again, you've had over 400 cycles that have depleted what? Minerals. And and iron is a mineral. Yes. Store up your minerals. So you have a large cellular account, adrenals. Okay. Without minerals, the adrenals can't make estrogen. And when there's no estrogen to control the sympathetic system, you're in trouble. All right. You're going straight from bottom to arc. You don't gradually go up to arc. You just press that button. You're from bottom to arc. Spark, spark, spark. And this is the reason why. And I'm telling you, it's not because you're going crazy. It's not because you need to be institutionalized momentarily. It is simply because your body functions naturally on a smooth system of perfect timing, but it's got to have those minerals. What is a mineral? Mineral is an enzymatic action. It actually is the spark. It's the spark of life. If you don't have enough zinc in your body, that egg cannot make it. That sperm cannot make it. They can't make it. And they have actually filmed the spark that happens when the sperm meets the egg. There's an actual spark of life, explosion. And they found that the mineral that is present is zinc. This is why in our program for infertility is zinc. Yay. Salmonol for the brain. Remember, all those babies you've had has just taken, you're depleted your omegas for your brain, and you need your brain and hormone food is omegas. And our Neolife is the only salmon oil in the world that's been clinically tested on humans, that is cold pressed, has all 8 biologically complete, tested for over 200 toxins with a 0 tolerance, and shown to reduce your inflammatory index by 68%. It's molecularly differentiated, and that simply means that we have the perfect ratio of 3 and 6 and 9 and all those, the 8. You need that perfect ratio. Again, it's about timing and ratios. And I love our omegas because it shows up, it does what it says it's going to do, clinically shown. And what happens to the brain when it's deficient in omegas? It gets inflamed. And an inflamed brain is an unhappy brain. And so if you can calm down the inflammation, all disease starts with an unhappy cell that is chronically agitated, that causes chronic irritation and inflammation. And so then, we've got our vegan D. I would highly recommend for females to also supplement with our D. It's the best $17 you'll ever spend for a bioavailable vitamin D. And because in the studies they've done, that every woman that has had breast cancer is deficient in vitamin D. And vitamin D. And of course, you get your vitamin D through the sunshine and through omegas and through your lipids. So your lipids have to show up in your skin. The UVA rays has to hit your skin. It has to hit your eyes, your retina of your eyes. So stop wearing sunglasses. And you need to get it from sunrise to 10 a.m. And you don't have to sit out there all that time, but you need to get at least 15 minutes to 20 minutes every day to get your dose of UVA so that your body can make its natural hormones, especially melatonin. That'll be another class I'll be doing. But, and that's another hormone that actually calms you down and regulates your daily routines and daily cycles, but it's a big major part of your immune system. So CalMag, I love our calcium magnesium with the D, perfect ratio of magnesium and D. I love our CalMag because it helps me calm down in the evening, helps me to sleep. Our magnesium, because magnesium, you use it up, we burn it up quickly, especially through stresses in life. So the next is you can snap a picture, but I've done a little chart here on symptoms and menus. So adrenal fatigue, you're going to want the core, and the core is Pro Vitality and a shake. But you're going to need extra shake for adrenal fatigue because you're going to need extra protein and especially the amino acids. Multi-min stress pack. Why do I recommend to stack on the stress pack for a short period of time? It has extra B's, it has extra C, it has extra minerals, especially selenium. And iodine. Super B, I can't stress enough for a woman who has emotionally, we are so deficient in the B vitamins, and they play such a major role. There are 8 of them, and they're kissing cousins, choline and inositol. Our Super B contains the kissing cousins along with the 8, Super C and vitamin E. If you have a low libido, all right, so the core, Super B, Super C, feminine herbal complex, because a lot of the bioidentical hormones has progesterone in it. This has Don Quay in it. It's got wild yam in it, which is really where they derive the progesterone from. And it helps so much. And we got a testimony in the house we're going to share, and vitamin E. And then the core for sinus issues, flavonoids, Super C, vitamin A, Respex, mucus lining for zinc. Okay, everybody took a picture of this so I can move right along because I have a few of these that I put together. And then recipe for women, migraines. This is another issue that women have during cycles is migraines come up, and you just need to know what to do. You just need a plan. You just need a plan, a sure plan that's going to help. Salmon oil is the number one thing because your brain is saying, I'm lacking quality fats. It's either dehydration, water, or oil. What is your brain made of? Water and oil. And so Tran, CalMag, magnesium, you kind of get to see heart palpitations. Another thing they say during menopause, a lot of women are getting tachycardia, arrhythmia, heart palpitations, those type of things. It just means you're deficient in these core nutrients that the body is craving for and needs support in. Food cravings, especially sugar and carbs that come on you, take a shake. It will stop it. I kind of got gauge it like this, that if it's not in the house, you can go without it. But if it's in the house, you need 1 shake. But if it's in the house, you're going for it, you need 2 shakes. Now, if it's not in the house, and you get in your car and you go down the street to get it, you need 3 shakes. Because you're calming down. It's out of control. You know, the beast is like, okay, we're going to deal with you and I'm going to give you some protein. You're going to shut your mouth. You're going to shut down your activity. All right, storehouse shut down. And I'm telling you, it works. It works. And so muscle cramps, magnesium, multimin, and constipation, and then low blood sugar. You got high blood sugar, you got low blood sugar. All right, everybody snapped a picture on that one. I got another one. Recipes for women, irritable and depression, super B. And I don't know why I didn't put omega on there, but that should be on there. Mood swings, CalMag, vegan D, feminine herbal, cognitive, mind enhancement. Oh yes, I tell you, I sell a lot of mind enhancement, but I have a lot of ladies that are 80 and 90 years old that are doing this program, and they love our mind enhancement because it lights up the gray matter of your brain. So in other words, it regenerates the energy in the gray matter so that this neurological system can spark and do what it needs to do.
How is that different than the nootropic nutrients and all of that?
The nootropic elevate will boost specifically your dopamine. The mind enhancement is an herbal complex that supports the gray matter of your brain. It's got a list of herbs specifically designed to support the gray matter of your brain. And that was formulated by Dr. First. That was what, hon? No, not in the mind enhancement. No, 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 no,
Is there anything in it that counteracts if you want to make some things with it?
no, not in mind enhancement. No. Yeah, I would cautionary maybe a salmon oil, vitamin E, garlic. Those are things that'll naturally thin the blood. So you see a lot of women have they have repetitive urinaries because of candida, yeast, moles, bacteria that sets up. I had a lady come to my house the other day and she says, I've done 3 rounds of antibiotics and I just can't get rid of this kidney infection, bladder infection. And so I said, honey, I got a recipe for you. And I gave it to her 3 days. She calls me back. Oh my God, this stuff works. I said, yeah, it works every time. They're happy. And so she said she had a coworker. She says, my coworker's got the same issue. We need to get, so it works. It's never not worked. Never not worked because it addresses the bacteria. It shuts the shop down in the bacteria and it reestablishes good gut bacteria and it kills the wrong bacteria in the
You're talking
bladder.
ordinary, and there's no garlic in it.
Yes, but
Should there be?
yes, there should be salmon oil over there and garlic right here. Yes, there should be. Yes. All right, here's some more cycle issues: cramping, nausea, menopause, osteo. By the way, your blood is not really made of, you're going to be shocked to know this, but your bones are not made of just minerals. You ready for this? Your bones are made of light, Light. So as you get out in the sunlight, you're going to make bones. When the word of God says, let there be light, all right? And he wasn't talking about the sun. He was talking about a frequency that was emitted on the darkness of the face of the earth that was full of chaos. And when David in Psalm 51 says, I cry out to you, he says, restore my soul because my bones have dried up. And he gives you the recipe right there about your bones, because grief will cause you to stay inside and not go outside in the light. It will cause you to hibernate and stay hovered and hibernating. And he said, restore to me the joy of the Lord, which is light. So your bones, I just found this out, biologically, your bones are made of light. And where do you make your bones? You make your bones, your marrow makes your blood. And life is in the blood. So God is the light of life. He is the joy He's the strength of your bones. So these nutrients, because they come from human whole food sources, they give light. If they were synthetic, they couldn't do that because biologically they don't have what is made of is not made of light. You get light through fresh fruits and vegetables. It's called photosynthesis. It's the light of life. That's a snippet of a class I'm gonna be doing.
They were
Okay,
on before, so maybe they got.
all right.
You know
So,
what? Proverbs 12:4, it says a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband. The she that maketh ashamed is as rottenness in his bones.
yeah, because she dampens the day. She turns the lights out on his day. She doesn't lighten his life. She doesn't turn the lights on. She turns the lights off. Wow, sobering, isn't it? Miscarriages, sterility, polyps, cancer, fibroids, and yeast. All right, there you go. Here is something right here that will take care of candida in 3 days.
What
Right
about
here.
celiac disease?
That's a different, but celiac salmon oil for that.
That's not a new one.
No, this is not a Neolite product here, but I added this in here because it's really, it deals with candida.
Because I've done a lot of stuff, reading on livable solution, we keep it back on hand at all times because of the fact that where we live in a radioactive world.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Also,
Absolutely.
if there was to be a nuclear bomb dropped onto it, if you do not protect the thyroid gland and
Yep.
your glandular system with legal
Yep.
solution, would be dead.
Yes.
And so many drops per day.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, that's very true. Very, very true.
Keep it and you home.
Keep it in your home. This should be part of your medicine cabinet. Okay, Feminine Herbal Complex. We talked about this, and it balances women's unique clinical needs, restores physiological and emotional balance, relieves symptoms of PMS. We're going to give a testimony here in just a minute. These are some happy women who have gotten on our program because some of them, their lives were completely devastated. Here's one. I saw her Wednesday night. It's Nicole Blaine. She had 6 children. Her body was completely drained, depleted. She had all kinds of symptoms. Doctor put her on meds. Nothing worked. She tried every supplement in the book. Nothing worked. She was just deciding to just go home and put the covers over her head. And somebody introduced her to these amazing nutritional formulas. And she's now out with her husband doing this business and helping other women to do the same thing. This is a beautiful one right here. We're going to give a testimony of Miss Marlena here. This lady right here lives up there in the northeast Atlanta area. And she had a accident when she was a teenager, lost a spleen and her adrenal. And and she was told never have children. She's very fragile, very frail. And so she had one child, and then they thought, well, we'll just do our garden. We'll have goats, we'll have chickens, we'll have this, and I'll just get my health back. And we have more children. Her husband's a pastor, and come to find out her health was still declining. Somebody in her food co-op told her about Neolite, came to her house, shared with her the difference between Neolite formulas and everybody else's, and she tried it. Well, she went on and had, I think she got 10 children total today. And one of them was voted the youngest congressman in Georgia, or our representative. I'm sorry, representative. He's been running for all kinds of stuff ever since then. But he has 6 children. He and his wife has 6 children. And I'm telling you, it's life-changing. She runs marathons. This woman runs marathons today. This right here, our families, this is actually her family of all the children that she would not have had if she hadn't discovered these amazing formulas. I'll tell you, they're life-changing. And then this is Nicole and some of the other stories over there. And we got one in the house we're going to share just because you are a woman. Marlena, come up and share your female, just because I'm a woman, testimony. Hold on, I want to make sure that I got you on. All right. Okay.
Yes, I am a woman. Hear me roar.
Hear me roar.
No, actually, back before in my Neo Life days, back in 2015, I had to have a hysterectomy. Because the year before, they told me I had a fibroid the size of a golf ball. Don't worry about it, just a minute next year. So I did, and it grew to a grapefruit size. So they had to do a total hysterectomy. They cut me from hip bone to hip bone. And in between doing that, they bruised my pelvic bone. Then they put me on a hormone replacement, estradiol. And I started having back pains, and I started praying about it. And the Lord told me to look at the side effects. The side effects was kidney failure. So I went back to my gynecologist, and I told him, I said, I went off of this and I went off of it now. So he showed me how to taper it, because you can't just cold turkey. So after that, I started dealing with the hot flashes, right? And I was just miserable. I couldn't get any rest. I had gained weight. It was horrible. And then I had a friend that came in my home, and he had the Pro Vitality box with him, and it had the food on it. That's what I like about the other box, because it's got the food and the fish and everything on it. So he said, look what I'm taking, Marlene, and it's food. And when he said that, my spirit man leaped inside of me, because when I prayed, he led me to Revelations chapter 22, verse 2, that talks about the tree of life that bears the fruit each month, and the leaves are for the healings of the nations. So leaves represent herbs. So that night I got started on a weight loss solution, you guys, and the feminine herbal complex. I no longer have hot flashes. My energy level has gone through the roof, and I lost weight. So my life has changed. I'm telling you, it works. It works. And I use the mind enhancement. I actually love that. I just increased and stacked on over the years. So that's my story.
And if you hang around Marlena long enough, you know she does not lack energy or cognitive intelligence. She is Johnny on the spot. She knows, I mean, she gets an answer. Oh my goodness. She's ready to pray. She's ready to climb a mountain. She's ready to go to work, roll up her sleeves and go to work on any project. And you know, the word of God tells us that your latter days should be more glorious than your former days.
Yeah.
And the word of God says that when gray hairs start appearing, it should mean that you have a little wisdom that comes along with that gray hair. And that wisdom should be about being a good steward about your body, your soul, your spirit, your mind, your will, your emotions, and your finances. Whoa, I did have to say that. Yes. And I'm going to share what I shared last night. Is the owner of this company. I met with him. He did a meeting in Wesley Chapel on Wednesday night. Oh, yes. Come on up here and I'll share this story and we'll do this. Oh, and I need a vitamin E. The cups, the water in the cups. Yes, we're going to do those. And he had shared that he had a class reunion. He's 85 years young. Now he hits the floor every morning and does 100 push-ups. He flies his own plane. And he runs multiple businesses. And sharp as can be, he hits the floor and he does 100 push-ups, and then he opens his Bible and gets his guide for the day. And so he shared where he came from, a little town in Bakersfield, California, farming town, rural farming town. And he was talking about attending a class reunion, and he said they were going to attend the class reunion, and they came back and the committee said, we can't do this because nobody can afford the $150 that it costs for them to rent the facility and have a dinner. And he was like, what? And so he made up the difference, and he said, what can they give? And they all came back with $50. That's all they could give. And so he said, I'll make up the difference. And he said, but I don't want them to know. So he attended, and he saw all of them were crippled on walkers, wheelchairs, crippled up on a bag of meds. And he said it was very sobering, because they had the same choice he had, because he knocked on all their doors about paying attention to their health and their wealth when he was young, as a young entrepreneur, searching and looking for things that can help make a difference in people's lives. And they ignored him. And one of them come up to him and said, I should have listened when you called me and told me about what you're doing. And there was a marked difference between his physical stamina and his bank account than everybody else's because he listened. Because God's called us all to be good stewards with our health and our wealth. Wow, so we're going to do a broccoli demo. And we're going to show you how to watch your fruits and vegetables. Why? Because there's hormone disrupting chemicals on our fruits and vegetables. Let me see, put this down a little bit so you can see. All right. So how many here wash your fruits and veggies? Everybody, give me an idea of what you use.
Oh, sorry about that. I should have got a bigger bowl.
Well, just water. Okay, is water working on this one? Is water working?
That's fine.
It's not working. It's beating right up. You could use it as an umbrella. And it's because they actually glue on the pesticides on our fruits and vegetables. You can actually have a friend that works in the produce department at Publix. And when I taught him this, he tries to tell everybody that comes in his produce department about this. He goes, look up. Nobody looks up today. So we have a team member that was battling cancer, and he actually went to Whole Foods and purchased an organic veggie cleaner, and it didn't have everything on the label. It said the word other. Beware of a label that said other. And he called the company and they said, we're not going to tell you everything that's in it. So he, on his own dime, spent several $100s, took it to a lab, had it analyzed, found out it was petroleum. So he said, oh my God, goodness, our company that is American-based, privately owned by that godly man I just talked about, has a cleaner called Green that is all natural, organic, no petroleum, and we're going to see just how fancy that Green is. I love Green. Everything in my house gets a dose of Green, including my husband. I like to say, I shake him up, he foams at the mouth, and we just do a little deliverance. And don't catch that. Anyhow, so can you spot the difference in the color? Can you spot the difference? All right, we're gonna actually show you how the water now flows straight through it. This now is
I'm not
will
soaking.
not cause cancer because we just took it, broke the bonds of the glued on pesticides. And this one actually will. It also tastes great. So it's this costs pennies a day. So this is one change everyone can make. Everyone can make this amazing change. The green. It's called green for a reason.
There are multiple.
It's called green. We actually have a sheet of paper that says 100 different uses for green. Wash your pets, wash your dog, your bird, your cat, whatever, your squirrel, whatever. Wash your car, yeah.
Your car sheet.
Exactly.
It is.
Absolutely. It's my hand soap in my house. It's and you can dilute it. You can do half and half water in your hand soap because it does the job. It works great. It's amazing. Won't disrupt your hormones. Won't disrupt the environment. It's eco-friendly. It's organic. It's made from aloe and lemon. And what's so awesome is it works.
Can you get it everywhere?
Through Neolife. The only place you get it is through Neolife. Now we're going to show you a synthetic vitamin E that will disrupt your hormones versus a vitamin E that will actually heal you. So we're showing you things that will heal you versus things that will kill you. So, all right. And Deborah's got here a synthetic vitamin E. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Do we have a bottle of it? Okay. All right. This is the Neolife vitamin E. All right, I'll hold this. All right. Now this one here is the Neolife vitamin E. And this one here is the synthetic vitamin E. Yeah, I used to. Now, mind you, this synthetic vitamin D will disrupt your hormones. It will cause cancer. It will cause diverticulitis. It'll cause all kinds of problems in your intestines. Absolutely. It's a synthetic. It's going to bring darkness into your body and not light. And there's actual, okay, and we're going to come over here, Deborah, and we kind of show into the screen right beside me, hon. Okay. And we're going to stir it, and you can actually see the difference. And then Deborah's going to pull the spoon up, and you can actually see it gooey onto the spoon. It's very, very gooey, sticky. Yes, that's what lines your intestines, causing disruption, causing problems. This here is from cold pressed wheat germ oil with all 8 vitamin E's in it, because there are 8. God loves the number 8. He saved 8 on the ark.
New beginning.
Yes, new beginnings. Yes. And so this again, would anybody like to try to taste this? Would anybody like to taste this? Well, that ain't okay. We got some.
I got some little cups.
And so, so when you're dealing with hormones, let's recap real quick. You need to detox. Detox not just your lipstick, but you need to detox all your home care, all of your personal care, and also you need to detox your synthetic vitamins. And then start switching out foods that are going to support your body systems. And our basic formula for making hormones is what? Protein, minerals, and grain oils. Omegas and grain oils are your basic formula or recipe for making hormones. And then you can stack on some extras as your body is, as its need, apply the need that's necessary. If you were to drive out of here into the road and there was a huge pothole and you call the county, because every time you would pull out of here, your tire would pop on you. And Deborah Kay wouldn't put up with that. She'd call the county and say, get out here and fill this hole. And they sent somebody out here with a little spoonful and then put it in there and said, well, that's our daily dose for the day. We'll be back tomorrow with another one. Do you think that's going to meet the need? How many tires are you going to go through in the meantime? Right? So the body's the same way. And the body says, okay, we got a big crater here. And so we need a little more than the prevention or our daily maintenance. Yeah, our daily maintenance, the prevention and daily maintenance. So that concludes our class. And any other Q&A, anybody on the Zoom that's got a question that would like to unmute and give and shout out and a question on Zoom. And I actually am going to stop because some people don't want their questions recorded. So I'm going to stop recording. See if I can get up here and do that.